Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. A heads up for drivers who frequent I64 in East Louisville. A major closure is going to impact you for the next 2 weeks starting tomorrow, and you need to be prepared for the inconveniences. The cones are already lined up along the shoulder, getting ready for tomorrow night. That is when I64 westbound from the Waterson to Story Avenue will close completely. That's beginning Friday at 8 p.m. goes through the 16th of June. Crews will repave the interstate, replace guardrails, and repair the Cochran Hill tunnels. During those 2 weeks, you are advised to take the Waterson to I-71 south, and then you can get back on to 64 west through town. And once this work is complete, I-64 east will do the same thing. It'll close to start around that same time, around June 16th. So be wary of that. A scary situation for shoppers inside Mall St. Matthews Wednesday when people inside of a department store were there as someone opened fire on another person. Today, police are looking for the people responsible. They tell us it happened yesterday afternoon around 4:45. Two groups of people got into a fight. Our Connor Steffens spoke with shoppers outside the mall.
Good morning. St. Matthews police says it was an isolated incident still for the dozens of shoppers inside at the time when the shots rang out. A scary situation. The sounds of gunfire.
It's just scary. I just hate it. It really is bad.
Echoing inside Mall St. Matthews.
The shooting actually took place, what we believe at this point, inside the mall.
As dozens of shoppers rushed toward the exit.
I'm not sure exactly the numbers that came out. There was a large group from what I hear that was running out.
There's a lot of people out here, I guess, that come out of Dillard's, but it's just scary.
St. Matthews Police Chief Barry Wilkerson says officers responded to calls of an active shooter around 3:45 Wednesday afternoon. The incident turned out to be an isolated shooting, a fight between two separate groups which led to gunfire. St. Matthews wants to emphasize that point. This was not an active shooting.
I think this is a totally isolated situation, unfortunately, that took place inside the mall where others were.
The shooting did land one in the hospital with an arm injury. At this time, law enforcement is still searching for several of the suspects.
We're still sorting through video as much as we can to try to figure out who all's involved and get better descriptions of the...
While the suspects remain at large, customers like Renetta Richard are counting their blessings.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just getting ready to pull in it. I'm just scared all the time. I'm just scared.
The threat is past, but trauma and worries linger. In Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS11 on your side.
St. Matthews police are working this investigation. If you know something that could help them, call the number there at the bottom of your screen. That's 893-9000. A final goodbye now to a deputy killed in the line of duty. At this moment, a funeral service is taking place in Scott County, Kentucky for fallen Deputy Caleb Conley. A large support group there at the local high school today. Even Kentucky's Governor Andy Beshear is present. He's ordered flags fly at half staff. Conley's burial will follow the service at the Battle Grove Cemetery in his hometown of Cynthiana. Across the river in Scott County, Indiana, police are investigating a cause of a crash that seriously injured a sheriff's deputy. It happened Wednesday afternoon on State Road 256 while Deputy Kenneth Black was out on patrol in Austin, Indiana. Sheriff Jerry Gooden says Black suffered multiple broken bones. He was flown by air ambulance to U of L Hospital for treatment. Back here in the metro, police are searching for a suspect who fled the scene of an early morning shooting downtown. It happened around 4:30 this morning. Police responded to First and Jacob, where they found a man dead from gunshot wounds. Their investigation caused a brief closing of the 65 northbound ramp to Broadway. If you have any information, you're asked to call their anonymous tip line at 574 LMPD. And we want you to take a look at your screen right now. Bardstown police have identified the suspect in Wednesday's shooting on Ashbury Drive. This is 18-year-old Akbar Mubilila. An arrest warrant was issued for the charges of assault with a deadly weapon and robbery. Police say he is armed and dangerous and known to be in the areas of Bardstown and Lexington. If you have any information, you are asked to contact Nelson County Dispatch. A southern Indiana court has decided to bring in a jury from out of town for the murder trial of a boy found in a suitcase. Don Coleman, who is one of two people accused in the death of 5-year-old Cairo Jordan, had originally asked for a change of venue. Her lawyer argued she would not receive a fair trial in Washington County, Indiana, due to public hostility, outrage, and news coverage. Coleman is charged with aiding, inducing, or causing murder, neglect of a dependent resulting in death, and obstruction of justice. Meanwhile, Cairo's mother, DeJuan Anderson, is also suspected in his death and still on the run. Neighbors say it has been an eyesore for years, and now it's getting attention from city leaders. Councilwoman Donna Purvis spoke in front of a home in the Portland neighborhood yesterday, where she says the owner's belongings are now spilling into public property. Our Alexis Jones takes us there.
Residents here in District 5 say they're no strangers to eyesores. Just a few months ago, neighbors complained of one on North 44th Street, and now today, Councilwoman Donna Purvis is calling on the city to crack down on these nuisance properties, starting with this house on Short Street. Engines, shopping carts, and a bucket filled of feces, things you may not expect to see in the middle of a residential area.
This is a problem that is making the whole community look bad.
Pointing at this house on the corner of Short Street, Councilwoman Donna Purvis says the property has been an eyesore for the past 6 years, but each time she and Portland resident Richard Meadows complain, they say nothing gets done. Purvis says agencies like codes and regulations need to be tougher on nuisance properties, especially in District 5. Adding enforcement officers need to ensure homes are cleaned up after a citation is given.
This city has been very, very lenient with the property owners behind us on this situation today, and today I say no more. I don't understand why they're not aggressive on things that you can clearly see, but too aggressive on things that you can't see.
Tenant Crystal Helm watched as Purvis pointed the finger at city agencies and her landlord. She says 311 has visited several times and recently towed the owner's cars off the property, but says Purvis has yet to stop by or speak to them. Helm assures they are working on cleaning the area, and Purvis can expect to see a difference in the next few weeks. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11, on your side.
Owners say they will address the eyesore complaints in court at the end of this month. Well, for months now, we have told you about the concerns of staff at Louisville libraries regarding their safety. We've shared fights caught on camera, staff members being threatened. Now Metro Council is getting involved. Our Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwood were at last night's meeting to hear what's being done to keep you safe.
Fights, attacks, and threats. The scenes have been troubling for Louisville Free Public Library employees and those that visit libraries for quiet and study time. And now front and center with Metro Council, the director of the library system, Lee Birchfield.
Do you have it in the plans to enhance security there so that the patrons will feel safe going and coming?
The director quizzed about safety. Birchfield says they signed a contract with the new security vendor. So far, security cameras have been added to the 5 branches with specific cameras both inside and outside the Shawnee branch.
LMPD has exterior cameras, and we now have interior cameras.
Due to an increase in the number of incidents at Shawnee, an additional security guard was added at that branch.
We had assigned a second security guard to Shawnee. We have gone back now and have reassigned a second security guard there.
He looks to expand the scope of a security position that looks at issues in the branch like managing the card swipe system and security. But heightened security is not the only concern. A librarian shared her thoughts about the reopening of the Parkland Library.
We want new books, a makerspace, and access to databases, similar services available in the other Louisville Free Public Libraries.
However, Birchfield says there is still major funding needed to complete construction at the Parkland, Portland, and Fern Creek libraries in order for them to open.
We're about $8 million from where we need to be. The Library Foundation is committed to helping us close that gap and raise the rest of the money.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
Birchfield says he continues to meet with the deputy mayor weekly to brainstorm opportunities about partnering with other community organizations.